I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm going to try and start doing something new today where, and I actually like this inverse because this is on a practice count, nobody freak out. The reason I like this trade is just because literal equal highs, this is a 1,000,000% going to hit. Like, I'll put my reputation, whatever that means, on the line that this will hit. And let's see what we got. That's a $2,000 take profit. Oh, shoot. But anyways, there's a lot to go over today, right? We have these equal highs, which it just has to hit, right? It has to hit. But where's our last take profit? Don't know. I'll kind of do what ICT was talking about yesterday, how he takes his profit. But anyways, I want to kind of go over. I would say this is a little hectic because I entered this because I was eyeing this, right? We turtle soup this. Today was a fantastic day, and I want to move away from negativity. It sounds kind of cringy, but today could be a day where I could easily get really negative about what I did and my performance. We ended the day with more trades than I would like, kind of just doing bad stuff, right? So, but instead of really just being super harsh and saying, I was so bad at doing this, I shouldn't have done this, why wasn't I confident in this? Why did I do this? Why did I do that? Instead of that, I actually want to be thankful for how I read the market because I read the market great today. Regardless of the executions that I'll go over, I have all the videos. So we have a few to go over today that we can kind of go over, and you guys can critique and kind of, give me feedback as to where I kind of went wrong. So while this trade, I say it's 1,000%, but this is crazy that we're even taking this long. So this is just price action for you. The RR right here looks terrible, but this paper, and I'm about to just show you guys something else. So I think I'll go off this account while it's playing out. Let's just put our stop here. I'll actually be so shocked if this fails. Again, I'm not taking on my real account for a reason, but this is wild price action. Do we have an SMT? If we have an SMT, I wasn't paying attention for it. Okay, we have a big SMT here, 1052. 1052. Yeah, so we have an SMT. That's wild that SMT is doing that to us. So I might just close it. Yeah, I'll just close the trade. That's crazy. So I wasn't watching. Normally I have my ES chart over here where you guys are. I have my OBS up right here, so I wasn't able to see the SMT. I don't think I would have thought the SMT would be that crazy anyways. So regardless, let's just get that out of the way. I still expect this to be the draw on liquidity. So let's kind of just go into the day real quick, what everything was looking like, right? So NVIDIA earnings after yesterday, we gapped down, right? We never filled this imbalance, right? And we were just impulse move up, not really impulse, but slow climb, slow grind up early, right? So I was pretty bullish, right? Because this is a pretty bullish. We had an SMT from this low, right? We had all these low resistance liquidity on the higher time frame. I was pretty bullish, but I wasn't just going to dive into any bias. So that was kind of the 1 hour. The 4 hour, I was waiting to see how these 4 hours got disrespected or respected to kind of see, what I really was feeling. And then on the 30 minutes, pretty much the same. 15 minutes, pretty much the same. Right, market open was on this candle right here. So I kind of was in this range. I wanted to see manipulation down on this low, like an SMT, to get bias. Right, we don't get that. What do? We pump off open, right? Off this candle, we create a 5-minute fair value gap, and we pretty well hold this fair value gap. Let me, I'm gonna draw them with not letters, but I'm gonna draw them with this 5-minute fair value gap. So I was looking at this, and I was like, you know what? This is obviously my bias today. Is what happens in this 5-minute. Right? How can we respond? How is the market going to behave? That kind of stuff. So we have the 5-minute, which lines up with the new day opening gap, which is pretty interesting. And then we drop down the time frames. Right? We have the 5-minute fair value gap that we open off market open. We had news at 10, which didn't really do anything crazy. But price action was kind of as follows. We have this move up here. This is not really a trade in my opinion. Although it works because on the 30 second, I think it's a good entry. or all right entry. Not really, but let's see, 15-second. Nothing really there. Regardless, not saying that that's a trade, but we inverse and go up to this high. We sweep it. I ended up taking my first trade here that I'll show on the replay in a second. Here, I took it on this. I took it with 3 micros, so I dropped my size, and I was just targeting the scale 1 off here for 40 points, and then I was really just hoping to see a runner flush through and come down to these lows and have a sell model there. I'll go over why this wasn't good, but in the moment, I saw this. I saw SMT, and I saw the inverse, obviously, and this is 950 right when the macro opens. So I really don't hate this, right? We're in the new week opening gap. We could reject from there. The reason why I would like to avoid it in the future, and I think also too, we had a 4-hour imbalance. So this was a 4-hour imbalance. So it wasn't the worst ever short, but I need to stop trying to force my hand in the market, right? And what I mean by that is the market was bullish. I was bullish. In my notes here, I wrote down bullish bias after yesterday's sell-off. We did sweep yesterday's afternoon high, but I expect to see yesterday's high. I will enter trades with confidence if opportunity presents itself, right? So that's what I wrote down today. So there's no real need to take a short. What I'm happy about, though, is that I kept the risk good in terms of not risking a lot, risking like a third of the size or 1/2 the size, right? It had confluences. It was a good entry, and I held properly, right? That was the good thing. So I'm not going to be too negative, but I do want to note for the future that I don't need to be taking stabs against my bias. I need to only take trades that correlate with my bias. So then we failed to take this low. We come back up, right? And now I'm kind of keeping in mind this imbalance here, right? This inverse actually ended up working decent, actually. I mean, I wouldn't have taken this personally, but it would have gotten you 41 points, right? I ended up taking this was another just mistake that I want to be honest about. I ended up shorting somewhere around here with 1 contract because I was like, okay, if this inverses, I'll go long and it'll stop my 1 out and I'll go long. But if not, I was expecting this low before going higher. So this would have been, if I would have held it, 100 points, so $200 trade, which again, it wasn't a smart idea, but I'm just gonna be honest. I'll pull up the execution and show you guys that I did that. And so right now I'm just in a spot where, okay, what do we have here? We had this fail here. We have low resistance, or we have 2 liquidity pools, right? We make almost perfect equal highs. We probably make perfect equal highs with something. No, we don't. But with this we do, right? That's kind of relevant, but we have equal highs here. We failed to put that out. So what does that tell me? It tells me we are going to revisit this high at least, and probably this. I'm so shocked about this. But anyways, I thought, okay, cool. That gave me a lot of that made me double down on my long bias. I was like, okay, I'm doubling down now. I'm doubling down. I'm gonna take this. I didn't take the 2-minute inversion, even though it would have worked very well quickly, but that's fine because it was against my bias. And I almost did, but I was like, you know what? This is just, I've already taken 2 dumb entries. Let me just calm down. And then live time, I actually marked this out, and I marked it out as turtle soup. And I was anticipating this to be turtle soup, and I'll get rid of the 5-minute because that's not as important now. We have this 15-minute fair value gap here. Or let's go here. We have this 15-minute fair value gap, right? And this was why I could confidently anticipate turtle soup. And if anyone is like, I really want to build conviction with turtle soup. I really want to be a turtle soup trader eventually. I think it's miles and miles and miles above inverse fair value gaps. I just do. This 15-minute, right, which is 9:30, which is market open 15-minute. I was anticipating turtle soup because we have a 5-minute fair value gap that holds price. We also have liquidity off market open, right? And we could expect also too, this low here, we never tap it, but it's an inverse of a 4-hour. So we never get that. We never quite get that, I mean. And let me get that out of the way. So anyways, we come down in live time. We tap the 15-minute here. So I'm expecting this 15-minute fair value gap to hold, and I'm expecting this to become turtle soup, which it becomes turtle soup to a tick, to a absolute tick. That is 2 points, 4 ticks, or 8 ticks. I don't know how the ticks work, I think, because I don't trade the ticks, but 2 points of drawdown if you were to soup this low, right? With a 27-point stop loss, take profit 152 points. You don't quite get that type of R with inverses, I can tell you that. But that's not the point. I don't need to be switching out models. I just am jealous, not jealous, but I really would love to be a turtle soup trader, or I really want to leave the inverse fair value gap trades for a lot of reasons. I think I can. I think I can do better without them. Not right away, but I think I can just find better entries. I think I can just find better trades, better RR. RR is the main thing. I really don't like some of the risk I have to put on with inverses because it just like, I don't know, like it was the easiest entry model for me, so I started doing it for a long time. I've been trading it since January, and I've had more success than when I didn't. And I think at this point I'm just going to stick to it until I start getting payouts and stuff, and slowly try and, maybe trade inverses as my main model, and then on eval accounts when I have fundeds, live fundeds, I can trade turtle soups and other entries and kind of just build conviction in that regard. Because I still have a lot of problems with just holding my trades and psychology and stuff like that anyway, so that it all kind of correlates with becoming a better trader that I've got to just work on with myself. But what I do want to mention, though, is that this turtle soup was nice, and I anticipated it, right? I was anticipating turtle soup. I was anticipating why? Because I could expect price, because we have this high here, I can expect it to go higher, right? Just like when we have this high, I can expect higher price, right? So because of this, I can anticipate the 15-minute to mean something, right? Because a fair value gap without context doesn't matter, and obviously people know this, but again, this is a personal journal. This is count as a personal journal for me. So this is me reviewing the day, and this is me learning from today, right? So I apologize if this is pretty redundant for anyone watching, but like again, I'm literally journaling for myself to take note mentally, and then I rewatch my own videos to see different days, different mistakes I've been making, how I felt in certain moments, good trades, bad trades. Like I watch my own videos. Again, this is literally a journal for me. So I apologize because I know some people watch these, some people watch these videos, and I don't want to just be talking about stuff that either they don't trade or whatever. But again, I apologize. This is my account, and this is what I'm having to do with it. So I have conviction because this 15-minute has narrative behind it and has context that we are bullish on the higher time frame. We don't really need to see a retrace to this low, right? This would be nice, but it's not always realistic. And something I've started to see recently is that I expect this. Off open, we come up, and I want to see this. And I want to see manipulation, then this. And that just is never, and that's just not going to happen all the time, right? Let me show you here. That's just not going to happen all the time. And yeah, this would be beautiful. And then you get, an inverse here with maybe an SMT here, right? And then you get, whatever. Like a turtle soup entry somewhere else. Like, that's a textbook thing, but it doesn't always happen, right? And the market moves in different ways than what you would love to see, right? I would have loved to see us sell off and take this SMT at the low, inverse, something, boom, 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 great setup, market maker buy mode all the way to the top. But you have to trade what the market gives you, and you have to observe the market, right? And what do I observe? We displace higher. We're clearly wanting to go higher. We put in a failure to take out that high, so that tells me we want to revisit at least this high. We come down, and I don't know right away, right? That's why I don't have conviction with turtle soup, but I can anticipate turtle soup. So live time, I'm getting to watch it and see, is this turtle soup? I see turtle soup come in. We sweep it, boom. Now this 15-minute has context. Okay, we should hold now. I want to see reaction out. What do we get? I believe this is change of state and delivery. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if you have to go above the wick. Someone let me know what change of state and delivery, but I think we get a change in state of delivery, which is nice, out of the turtle soup. I don't like that we don't resweep this low. It kind of susses me out, but that doesn't really need to matter. And this is where I was actually happy with this trade. My first entry that I would have made more money on if I just let it play out. I actually longed this fair value gap. I think I get a worse fill because I get a worse fill because of something. I forget what it was. I think I just let it happen. I got filled up here. I just kind of let it react. But regardless, this trade, right? This trade is nice because we have a order block holding price. We have a turtle soup. We have a fair value gap, right? And we have the context and narrative that we are going higher, right? So this trade would have been fantastic it would have never even been against me, and it would have traded here, would have been a little scary. Come on, like here, boom, 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 good trade, right? I'll show the execution of this trade because that one I just managed bad. So that was my first entry, and that was a great entry that I really, really, really wish. I really wish I can build confidence in this because this is textbook, right? Turtle soup, change of state delivery, order block, whatever, fair value gap, right? Boom, fair value gap tap, boom, displacement. This is the second entry on this fair value gap tap if you're really great. Because where's my first inverse fair value gap? My first inverse fair value gap is this 2 minute or this 1 minute here, right? So then we even get a 1 minute, right? And I was in this trade. I got in with 2 micros, and I was like, okay, I'm going to add to it if we inverse this, right? Then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to add because I already was like, okay, we got such a good fill down here. Why would I increase my fill? And I trailed my stop to this fair value gap right here because I wanted it to be a breakaway gap because I've been watching ICT, and I don't know how to properly trade breakaway gaps. So I sold myself out by thinking I could know better, right? And I tried to move my stop to break even right away because I can't sit still with a stop loss, and I can't trust myself. So I needed to learn trust in myself. But anyways, we get stopped out, and then it starts moving, right? This trade plays out exactly how it needs to. I need to have more confidence. The market did nothing wrong. I didn't even see the market wrong. I just need to have more conviction when I enter something and not think that everything's going to go against me, right? I need more personal conviction. This was my mistake. I take ownership for this mistake, and we will do better, right? Because we didn't read the market wrong at all. At all. We had, besides this trade here, right, which was just against my bias, and it was just half size just to kind of test, to kind of build conviction. And, in the back of my mind, it was to make a little bit of money, right? That trade, or that was the only time, okay, cool, I was wrong there. But in terms of this whole move up, I read the market perfectly because the market presented itself exactly how you could expect it to. We had the turtle soup, the 50-minute fair value gap, context of it going higher, change of state delivery, order block, fair value gap entry, boom, displacement higher, first low risk entry respected, boom, inverse, the last down closed candle, boom, pull back to a fair value gap, create another order block, boom, we support price with this order block, right? We support price with this order block and inverse fair value gap, boom, we come up, we make another order block that we hold, boom, we come up, another order block, fair value gap, boom, inverse up here. This was my last trade that actually made me the money. I got on the inverse. We weathered the storm. I didn't close, even though it closed back below, because we had this fair value gap. We displace higher. We break structure to the upside. Boom, breakaway fair value gap up to high day, right? Again, I might have just ran through these topics and kind of things like that because I'm not really I'm not teaching these topics to anyone right now. Like, that's not my goal with these videos. My goal, again, like I said, is personal journal. So I apologize if you were trying to learn. Genuinely just watch like Justin, watch ICT. There's a lot of really good traders. There's a lot of really good traders that are going to be better to teach you at the current moment. Eventually, I would love to be able to teach, but you guys know I don't make money, so why would I be teaching? So if you learn stuff from the stuff I say, great, because I'm very confident in my knowledge. I'm very confident in my ability to read the market. I'm very confident in my trading. So when you hear me talk about concepts and confluence and stuff like that, like I'm genuinely seeing this stuff live time. It's just a disconnect between my executions and my thoughts, right? Like my thoughts and my executions kind of have a different idea, right? When I'm in this trade here, I'm not seeing the market as clearly as when I'm not in the trade, right? And I'm looking at live time, or because I'm entering on these concepts, I'm entering on these ideas, but as soon as I get in, I start getting that fear, that doubt creeps in, and then I'm like, okay, why? I look for every reason to trail stop loss and close it. So now I'll pull up the executions. That's kind of how today's price action went for me. Again, very, very clean. I'm very happy with price action today. And again, I'm disappointed with how I execute the trades, but I'm trying to keep positivity going and not worry about things like that. And the day's done. I learned. And yeah, so there's nothing super bad about what we did, right? Another day will come, right? On this account, we made $200 today, so we are up $1,260. This account again. I wonder if we have Monday off because it's a holiday, I think. So we could be not trading Monday, so we either have 5 days or 6 days to trade this account. Very happy with this. If we can just average $200 a day, we'll pass this account in 2 weeks, and we'll be funded for the first time. So that's kind of. Apologize. How could do it off camera? I know it's gross, but that's where we have to keep the mindset, right? 200 is not what I want. I want to have bigger days, right? Because we took some losses, so it could have been a bigger day. So 200 is not the end goal, right? I don't want to be making $200 days. But the perspective is, if I do a $200 day consistently, and I can do that 10 times, that's the past count with this current state, right? And then if I sprinkle in a $500 day here, an $800 day here, then boom, $800 day plus $200 days, $1,000 2 days. You know what I'm saying? So I need to stop worrying about anything other than executing, because today, if we execute better, we have a better day, right? So regardless of how much we make, if we execute better, we'll make more money. And that's all I need to worry about. I don't need to worry about the money or passing accounts. I need to worry about executing better. And if I execute the trades better, I will automatically make more money. And that's all I need to worry about. So I'll now pull up the executions that we had. So this was the first one right here. The first trade was the short, right? We get in off of the close. Let's see. We get in off the close. Dude, I hope my audio is not bugged. Please. Okay, so you guys can watch that trade play out. I hope my audio is still going, dude, because my headphone's connected to this. So this is really annoying. I'm turning my Bluetooth off. I hope you guys could hear the last freaking forever. Oh my gosh, my mouse is Bluetooth. Gosh, dang it. Okay, so I hope you guys can hear this. If not, this can be annoying, but oh well. Boom. The trade was in my favor for a little bit. I held it good. We had a fair value gap. We trade into the fair value gap, and this is where I am happy that I managed risk. We put in a fair value gap. We put in a high. Then we put in a higher high, and we start rejecting. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to put my stop at this high now. It should not come back up. It really shouldn't. So I was like, okay, if it comes up. And then we get a really big impulse move straight through. So very, very glad I held my stop there and not a close back above, because that's the danger of a close back above. Look where that closes. And look where I got stopped. Boom, boom. So happy with that. Took a loss, kind of rattled me a little bit. So on to the next trade. We had was this one. We had this trade here. This was the one I was talking about where I took it with 1 micro and was like, cool, I'm just going to get in, and if I get stopped out here, if not, I'm going to let it play out. Just dumb. Like, this is just pure, just trying to make money, just trying to press a button. Nothing really speak of this. I go to break even really quick because I was like, I don't really like this. That was me pressing buttons. That was me just being emotional, me trying to make money. Cool. We move on, right? Next trade was the fair value gap tap I was talking about. Dude, I got a really bad feel. I didn't start the recording until after, but like I didn't get in on the tap, but I definitely didn't chase it to here. Like they filled me like a nightmare on Top Step X. But regardless, we were risking 190 to make 459 on 2 micros. So I would have had a better day if I just took this trade and let it play out, because I would have slapped TP than if I, was micromanaging the whole way up, right? I entered and exited this whole trade the entire time. So we can always learn from that. So this trade, is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Look, I have the turtle soup marked out, and we let the trade go, and I was like, okay, if this thing, so I trailed my stop to this low, and even if I left it that low, we would have been protected. And I don't even mind that stop loss there, because it really shouldn't come down and re-sweep that low if we were efficient, right? We should have some displacement higher. So I actually don't even mind that stop loss, especially when we inverse that top fair value gap and then open another bullish fair value gap. So what I mean by that is right here, when we inverse right here on this candle, I do not need to be at break even, but I can leave my stop here and just let it play out. I'm risking $60. Risk $60, peace of mind. We have this order block. We have an inverse here. We have an inverse here. We have a fair value gap. And I was like, oh man, I need to just put my stop at this low here, because if it taps me there, like this is gonna be the breakaway gap. We're gonna hold this inverse. We're not gonna tap here. And it was just so frustrating to kind of do dumb stuff like that, right? And it stopped me out. It is what it is. I really like that trade. So the next entry, told you guys we had a lot today. The next entry was this. And this actually is solid too. Why? We have a 15-second trade now. We had just tapped that 1 minute, right, which was right underneath this low. We just tapped this 1 minute, and we inversed the 15-second. My stop then goes to this low with 5 micros. Boom. We would have made $840 on the 5 micros. Day done. Day set and match. Just let the trade play out. Don't get so emotional. We wouldn't have made that much because we would scale 3 there. But regardless, let the trade play out. Have a good day, right? It's just literally walked me back. Everything I read in price was spot on. Spot on. Great entries. These aren't even bad entries. These are good entries with good risk. And I'm just sitting here, just what am I doing, right? I was already entered on this trade, right? I was already entered on this trade way lower, close to the turtle soup on the low risk entry. But I closed the position because I'm trailing my stop tight to then just re-enter higher up. It doesn't make any sense. So I need to remember that it doesn't make sense. If I'm in the first trade, why would I re-enter higher up after being super aggressive with trailing my stop? Do I want is every trade that I need to get into the win, does it need to just run straight to my take profit? Is that what I need to do? Is that how I need to trade? Just like a straight take profit trade? I don't know. So we end up putting in that order block on the 15-second or on the 30-second. And then I almost put in a take profit that high, which was just crazy. And I can't handle my emotions in trades. Look at this. I'm already dragging to break even. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You know what I mean? I just can't imagine why I put it underneath that low. So now I'm only risking 150. Would have been fine. We go to break even now because it took that high out. And we end up scaling 1 micro because, we really want pennies on the dollar. And then we get stopped at break even because there's no reason. And I'm like, okay, this wick, it's going to hold, right? It doesn't make sense what I'm doing. When I'm doing this live time, it makes absolutely no logical sense. I'm just BSing myself and saying oh, this is going to be the best thing ever, or this is going to work, or this doesn't need to come back here, or this wick's going to be the bottom. And then it's why do I think that if price goes lower and hits my stop loss, why do I think that this is where the turning point is? That if price goes right here, we're not going to go up anymore. We're going to continuously dump. Why do I think that? It doesn't make any sense. So we get stopped again on a great entry. Or just, it wasn't the best entry. I had better entries, but a good entry that I need to put risk on the table, accept the risk, and let it play out. Just very, very dumb, frustrating stuff. So next trade, right, was... This is not a trade. Oh, yeah. This was horrible, and I kept this in here to show you guys another brutally honest. I enter off of this 15-second fair value gap. Why? I do not know, but I was still bullish because I was reading the market well. I was like, what the heck? The market's going up. The market's respecting bullish order flow. I am bullish on the day. I see this target, blah, 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 blah. And now I'm just getting into dumb stuff, trying to take anything. I'm not even taking inverse fair value gaps. I'm not even taking fair value gap taps. I'm just taking invert or order block ideas and just, expecting price to keep going up. So this was a dumb trade, and I end up losing again on this trade. I end up losing money on this trade. I end up getting stopped here for $65 for no reason. And I really wanted to show you guys that because that's an important there was something wrong there. There was absolutely something wrong there with me doing that. And again, I like to show you guys this stuff because this is the real deal, man. This is the realest of deals. This is, these are my trading demons that I need to deal with. So here we go. This is the final trade, the one that actually made us the money. But again, it's a good trade, but look how late we're doing this, man. Look at this move that we were in down here, and now we're going in with bigger size up here to squeeze out a move. 462 if we got up there, but we kind of placed a lot of different orders. I wasn't really quite sure what I wanted to do. But here we go. I wasn't going to actually let it stop me out there, but I wanted to give it some wiggle room for this fair value gap. And we were in drawdown here, and I was honestly at this point, I knew for a fact if I lost this trade, I'm closing my account for the day. I was done for sure done. These candles kind of scare me, but then this green candle gave me some hope, and then I trailed my stop here, I put my stop a little bit higher. So now I'm risking 400, which is not good, but it's all right. We get this candle move, so I was like, okay, this is a good reaction. I wanted to see it be quick, and I wanted to see it close back above. So we made an order block now. So now I trail my stop to 288. I should have left it here until it played out, but cool, we don't. 258 risk here. Now I trail my stop because I really didn't want to see it take it back down. I'm really indecisive. Now I'm like, okay, I'm going break even. I'm not losing more. I'm gonna cancel. I'm gonna lock my account out regardless of the outcome. If we get stopped, we get stopped. So I was like, you know what? Why not just risk a little bit of money then if I'm gonna close my account for the rest of the day anyways? Why get stopped at break even if I'm gonna close my account right here? So I then put sell limits. I'm still doing my sell limits. What do we get here? Then this is just like, you know, it just feels like it's just a relief when your take profit gets hit. It's just like a big relief because I was just like, you know, if I lose this, then wow, it's going to be a bad day. So we end up going and slapping take profit, boom. And I cannot believe we didn't hit that last take profit. It's so frustrating, and it shouldn't matter. And it should not matter, but it does, man. It does. We go, boom, take profit through there. We would have been up good on the 6 micros. Dang, it doesn't get rid of the 6 for a second. Dang, it took like a while to lag there. But then it says 3. And then boom, I was like, cool. And I was like, okay, I didn't love that, right? When you rip through, I didn't love it. But I wasn't going to panic. And I was still going to make another 160. And, yeah, then I think I ended up taking one more off because I was like, I took one more off at this high. At the original high. So the original high here, I was scaling one more. So it's basically like I partialed 4 if it came back up there. And yeah, so I was like, okay, if we come back up here, it'll basically be like me scaling 4. Boom, scaled 4 micros off. Cool, we're up 121 on the day after a rough day. And then I trail my stop to $42, and then I continue trailing. I get stopped at a drawdown for a $200 day. I have no idea why that trade did not hit the full target, but it doesn't matter, right? That's not, you know, not important. What I want to reflect on, last piece, is just we read the market great. So my closing statements, I guess, for myself are, I read the market great. I was, again, like a recurring theme, lack of confidence in the trade, but got to see it play out in front of me, and held my last trade good, right? We can always improve. We can always get better. But, you know, it's always disappointing not to capitalize more, but we cannot complain. We're getting better. So I appreciate everyone that watches these videos. Really does mean a lot. You guys are seeing the improvement. You guys are seeing the hustle. You guys are seeing me come out and put in the work every day. I really am glad with the growth I've been making in my trading, and appreciate everyone that watches these videos. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll kill the week off, finish Friday, and see how we get on with this week. So peace out. Appreciate everyone that watches these videos. Make sure to subscribe if you made it this far and you aren't subscribed, and like the video, helps me out. Yeah, peace.